In the great Northwest grows a magnificent forest of fir, pine, spruce, cedar, and redwood. These giants can soar to heights over 300 feet and attain girths in excess of 15. In recent years, these trees have captured the eye of the modern-day arborist, and as I speak, there are groups of these climbers joining to set standards for this new wave recreation. Recreational tree climbing in the Northwest has been going on for over 30 years, but has never before developed into an organized event. This group of climbers in the Olympic Rainforest is part of a gathering from 3 different continents. The event, coined by the International Society of Arboriculture as the Tree Fun Climb, and made happen in particular by the efforts of Michael Oxman of Seattle. The climbers in this group are in the forefront of laying the blueprint for future recreational tree climbing in the Northwest. They are Ken Palmer, Rip Tompkins, Dwayne Newsteader, Norman St. Jean, Knut Pape, Christine Engel, Toby Sherrill, Michael Tane, and Michael Oxman, with guests Susie and Tony Tressell, and behind the camera, Jerry Beranek. For the high rainfall in the Olympic National Forest, blood-sucking insects abound, and no one was spared the wrath of the gnats, flies, and mosquitoes on this trip, at least until we got up into the trees. These gatherings offer a good opportunity for climbers to show and tell all the latest in climbing gear and techniques. And believe me, there was much to see and learn on this climb. The trees we're looking at are Sitka spruce, approximately 250 feet tall. Toby Sherrill is going to use the big shot to set the line in the largest. After drawing back the rubber snubbers, Toby uses a quick release to hold the tension, then loads the weight and trips the release.
Staying clear.
On his first attempt, Toby reached the target limit 152 feet, and the weight pulled the line through to the ground. It's quite an accomplishment when you consider this step of setting a line can sometimes take many shots or hours to do.
Yes, sir.
Clear the ground, heading up. Back down just a little bit more, I'm gonna give a little. Another.
Michael Tane ties on another throw line to isolate the target limb. Ken Palmer pulls it in.
Okay, you're up into the structure itself now, Ken.
While they're pulling the climb line in this tree, Knut Pape is already prepared to head up a line he set in the other. Knut used the throw line, and in just 2 shots he hit his target limit 90 feet and pulled in his climb line. He's using a rope walking system, and just look at him go up that line. These sets of climbing cams are called Mar bars and were developed by Paul Sisson of Seattle. Dwayne Newsteader is going to be using the Mar bars to ascend the line set in the big tree. And Norm St. Jean will be tending the line for Dwayne. In their regular work, Dwayne and Norm are climbing instructors for Arbor Masters Training of Canada. With Toby's good luck of getting the line set so readily, meant the climbers were off to an early start. The tree Knut is headed up leans significantly towards the other.
Go ahead.
At ground level, the trees are near 30 feet apart. Yet at the top, you can step into the limbs of the tree Dwayne is climbing from this one. With its roots failing, the next big storm may very well topple this tree. Dwayne is near where the line is set in the big tree. Once there, he'll take a rest and wait for Toby Sherrill. Michael Oxman is right behind Knut and having a rough start. Michael switched from his regular climbing system the Petzl pump, over to using the Mar bars this morning, and he hadn't yet mastered the technique of using them. Canute is about 200 feet and is setting a line that will reach the ground for other climbers to use. At the same time, Toby is about to rendezvous with Dwayne in the other tree. Together they're going to set up a rope and pulley system called an elevator line, and in just a little bit you'll get to see how it works. Christine Engel makes for the 5th climber to go up this morning. She's a certified arborist and has been climbing professionally for 10 years. In 2001, Christine took top honor of winning the Women's International Tree Climbing Championship. And to add to those credentials, she's also a climbing instructor for ClimbSafe, an arborist training company in Germany. Dwayne and Toby set the elevator line at 175 feet. Michael Tane ties into it and makes necessary adjustments before heading up. Michael's weight in the elevator line is being counterbalanced by another climber on the other end. So as that climber comes down, Michael will be taking a free ride up, more or less speaking anyway. If the climber going up is heavier than the one going down, they will have to supply an effort to make up for the difference, though usually not much. However, in the opposite case, a provision or braking device may actually be needed. Susie Treeclimbing is the next to go up the elevator.
Just flip into it and start to
Ken confirms with those in the tree running the line. It's a go. Everyone is ready, and Susie gets the high five from Ken to head on up. Toby Sherrill is Susie's counterbalance during this ride. Susie and her husband, Tony, are from Pomeroy, Pennsylvania. At a tree fundraiser last year, they became the honorary guest climbers here through an auction bid item won by Tony's brother.
to the butterfly, and then bring it taut, and then tie the butterfly down here.
Norm St. Jean takes the elevator up, and Michael Tane takes it down. Ken Palmer takes his turn on the elevator. Ken is the president and CEO of Arbor Masters Training in the U.S., and Rip Tompkins, who you'll see in just a little bit, is the vice president. Toby's watching where the climbers pass each other on the line, about 90 feet up. The elevator system works great to get people up in a tree quick. Here's the view from 175 feet. You're looking at the Bogachiel River Valley, and this marks the end of our first day in the tree. In the morning, Rip Tompkins is going to be the first one to climb back up, and without anyone else in the tree to work the elevator line for him, Rip is going to have to get up the tree the old-fashioned way. Today, a zip line is going to be set for traversing over to the hiking trail, some 200 feet away. Rip tosses the throw line, but the throw proves to be more than the line he has available. So a slingshot is sent up.
Stand clear below.
This device is a concoction developed by Michael Oxman. On the first attempt, Rip made the shot over to the trail, but the weight wasn't quite enough to pull the line to the ground. So Rip tries again, and this time the line broke.
Oh,
See what I mean?
I guess my career in shooting the slingshot is not very good.
Well, it looks like it's time for the heavy artillery.
You may want to.
Toby makes room for the big shot. That zip line is going to get set.
Well, Toby's trying to locate you.
Oh, I see you.
See the fern?
It's a beautiful day up here.
Yes, it is,
All
Rip.
the newbies didn't realize how fast we
Shot. We've got a downhill lie at the 333. Up right here.
Toby gets his bearings.
If you look between the two hemlocks,
There's a fern.
Okay. We need about X amount of pressure. Line's going to drift to the side.
He takes his shot.
Back! 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 Up right here.
Toby made it, and the ground crew ties on the zip line. The better part of the morning was spent getting the zip line set up, and there was a little more to it than what's depicted here. Michael Tain is going to be the first climber to ride the zipper. It's rigged in a tree just below the elevator line, about 160 feet. While Michael begins his ride across, Nanook comes up on the elevator. He's going to be the conductor on the zipper this afternoon.
Wait.
And his first passenger is Susie Tressel.
Wait a second. Like that.
While Nanook prepares Susie for the ride, Christine Engel is coming up on a line. I think she's going to take a ride on the zip line too. She just spied a loose shard of deadwood and yells out a warning.
Stand clear! You alright?
It looks like Susie is ready to go.
Wait a second, what do I have a choice?
Okay.
Okay?
Ready to go?
I'm ready! Oh my god.
While Nanook runs the belay, he encourages Susie.
And you don't have to hold yourself. I mean, just try to release and relax. You see it's safe.
Relax, I'm relaxed.
Yeah. Enjoy.
This is one of those rides you'll never forget. From this point, Susie is going to have to rappel 80 feet to reach the hiking trail.
More.
Who else is going?
Shoreline, it's a little thin, you know.
Looks like me.
But it's okay. I can hold it. Watch your back.
Hold it, Newt. I got a line caught. Well, it's not caught anymore. This brings back memories of when I was a kid. We fashioned a zip line from the top of a fir tree in our backyard over to a stump at a neighbor's. But we didn't think of using a belay back then, and the first rider on our system became one with that stunt. Believe me, a belay is very important. This looks good.
Right here.
There's the trail and the reception committee. I'm going to tell you, I've seen enough in the last 2 days to give me some good ideas for some giant redwoods where I live. Whew! Here comes Christine. As if the ride isn't enough by itself, she has to do it upside down. There's so much rope in this span, and it offers a real nice cushion during the rappel. This marks the end of our climb, and the crew starts pulling out the ropes. Thousands of feet of it. When the end of a long line drops, it can break the sound barrier when it straightens out. Just listen.
Crack the whip, baby.
That can blow the serving off the end of the rope and make it look like a horsetail.
Hey, can somebody tell us which rope bag the orange rope goes in, or the yellow rope goes in?
I've got the back for the yellow rope.
The Bogachiel Spruce was the first planned and organized recreational tree climb to bring together so many professional arborists from all over the world. And with its success, it's likely to inspire future gatherings where arborists and climbers can share the love of their profession. The Fund Climb was a pilot project of the Tree Research and Educational Endowment Fund, and sponsored largely in part by the Northwest chapter of the ISA and Arbor Master Training. Site selection and guide services were provided by Michael Oxman. Video and post-production work was provided by Gerald Beranek through the generous sponsorship of Cheryl Arborist Supplies. For more information about the Tree Fund Endowment, contact the Tree Dynamics and Arborist Techniques Fund. And for more information about Arbor Master training courses in the U.S., and in Canada,